guys, so it's Saturday morning and I'm getting ready to go out for a run. I've been doing my stair stepper during the week, and on the weekends it's like, oh, let's change it up a little bit. And so anyways, I normally like kind of watch like motivational stuff in the mornings, but today I thought, you know what, let me go look back at some of my old like weight loss journey videos. For those of you who had just started following me, I started my weight loss journey in like 2015. I was at 196 and I documented everything, and I think it's like the first playlist on my channel. But so I went through, you kind of have to scroll a little bit, and then I start like a week one where I start videoing every single week. So I was like, oh, let me go back and look. And so I'm just kind of like watching a couple of the old videos, and it's so cool to see like just watch my journey and really remembering all of the foods I ate. So I think I'm gonna do like a big recap for those of you who are new to the channel, and those of you who want to just kind of like see what all I went through, what obstacles I went through, without having to go back and watch like 100 videos. So I think I may just kind of like put together like a little clip of the whole journey, editing, combining all of the different weeks that I went through. But I wanted to share with you guys that as I'm watching it, you know, you kind of go back in your mind and you're like, oh, you know, this is something that I noticed changed, or something I could have done differently. Like, as you'll see if you go back and watch, I ate a lot of frozen foods, and it's funny seeing like all the foods I used to eat, which I don't really eat any of it now, except for like the protein puddings, the casein protein, and the protein shakes. But I if that kind of food, like the frozen foods, the already prepared foods, like look good to you and sound appealing to you, I say go ahead and do it, because that helped me a lot. Yeah, I don't eat it now, but you know, I'm in a different stage of my journey now. That was when I was going from eating junk food all the time to trying to, you know, eat cleaner. As I always say, you know, gradual is the best, because it's, you know, when you try to go from one spectrum to the other, it makes it harder. And whenever I would do that, I would always like fall back off the wagon. But like doing it gradually like this made me feel like I wasn't missing out on anything. Like, you know, I still got to indulge because I was eating like enchiladas and quesadillas and stuff like that. And some stuff I'm like, oh dang, I need to make that again. I forgot about that. Like some of them, like I got pre-made meals at Whole Foods where they already have like the salmon and veggies in it. But anyways, so like stuff like that, like I definitely recommend, if frozen foods like quick and easy but still good tasting stuff sounds good to you, I say go for it. That helped me gradually move over to cleaner and cleaner eating. And everyone's journey is different. I think that's the thing that kind of is a little bit of a downer when it comes to weight loss. Like, we all ultimately, I think, have to go through our own journey, because we all have different preferences, different likes, different tastes, all of that stuff. So you kind of have to go a little bit through your own trial and error, and see what you like and don't like. But the cool thing I think about me doing the weekly videos is, you know, you can see what things helped me or didn't work for me, then kind of shortcut it a little bit as much as possible for you. So anyways, and so the reason why I got on here that I wanted to make this video was, one thing as I'm watching, you know, the start of my weight loss journey, where I think I was in the 170s, 180s, and slowly dieting, and like being around your social circle. One thing I never mentioned, but I kind of see now, that I think was a really big important thing for me. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I think this was important to me. When you first start dieting, excuse me, when you first start dieting and changing the foods you're eating, and you're around people, you know, your friends and family, and they notice you're eating differently, or you say no to things like, oh no, I'm dieting, that can be something that used to hinder me in my weight loss journey, because I used to let other people's thoughts kind of seep into my head. Because when somebody first tells you that they're dieting and they're like, oh no, I'll just have a salad or whatever, I think all of us subconsciously are kind of conditioned to be like, oh, okay, good. Like, you know, I hope you make it, but you kind of have this feeling of doubt because you see so many people go through and like, oh, I'm dieting, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. But eventually, like weeks later and months later, it's like, yeah, I didn't like that diet, or yeah, I got to get back on it. We're conditioned because a lot of people start their diet and don't make it a lifestyle. So whenever you tell, or whenever I would tell somebody, oh, I'm dieting, subconsciously, I don't think they were trying to hurt my feelings or anything. Subconsciously, I think it was, you would kind of get a reaction like, oh, okay, you know, or no, you don't need a diet or whatever it was. And you kind of feel like a little sense of doubt coming from them. And that's only because, you know, most people don't make it a lifestyle. Most people end up, you know, months down the line going off the wagon. And that used to I think that used to really affect me, and I would let that get into my head, and I would take on that feeling of doubt that they had, like, gosh, I hope not, like, you know. And I think that I think all of my friends and family, you know, wanted me to be happy and hope for the best, but you know, most of us just don't follow through with the diets. Like me, especially. That's what I did a lot of times was on and off, on and off. But I think watching this, I remember subconsciously, I would kind of notice whenever that kind of doubt would kind of come over their face. No matter how much they try to hide it, you can kind of feel that energy. And I remember just being like, kind of letting it wash over me, and I didn't let that seep in. I would just kind of think to myself, you know, I'm different. This is different. Whether or not I go off the wagon or on the wagon again, it's happening. Like I stopped allowing myself to take on other people's thoughts, if that makes sense. Because a lot of times I would take on other people's thoughts as my own. Like I would see, you know, how they felt or their opinions, and I subconsciously kind of take it on as my own. And then once I started acknowledging that and just being like, well, you know, whether or not I stick with it this time or not, I'm going through it. So anyways, I hope that I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps somebody. I don't know if anybody else knows what I'm talking about, but I used to kind of that was one of the scariest things for me, was when I would start dieting, and the first time I would kind of be around friends or family or something and say, no, I'm good, I'm dieting, because you know, that affects us, our psychology, and a lot of times when we take on those thoughts, it hinders us. And that was a really big deal. I remember being like, you know, I'm going through it either way, and I really stopped taking on other people's thoughts. I hope this video helps you guys. I'm kind of rambling now, but anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.